As always, opening meditation can be any posture, movement, or non-movement that connects you to your deepening breath. Bring it up to the conscious level. I will offer Sufi grind. If you're joining me, sit any position where you can lengthen the spine up while rooting your tailbone, pubic bone, sitting bones down. Breathe in, expand the rib cage, lift the heart. Exhale, lean forward a touch. And continue to draw small circles with your spine. Feeling the circles drawn on the earth by your tail. And invite your breath all the way down to this low abdomen, pelvic, base of spine, base. The meditation aspect is keeping your mind with the breath. There is some effort, exercise to the breath. And I find the exercise to be relaxing. Relaxing the low belly. Chronically tense areas around the hips, low abdomen. To make more space for the inhale. So it organically becomes slower and fuller. Breathing out is a physiological relaxation action of the diaphragm. But at the end of the exhale, maybe engaging the low abdominals as if you could lift and press the old air out. Make room for fresh new breath. And as you concentrate on slowing, deepening breath, you might notice the body seems to be moving on its own. You don't have to drive it. You get to watch, feel, learn from your own body. Your circles might automatically be becoming larger and smoother. If there are areas that you're bypassing, just be curious. Maybe slow into those areas and send extra breath. Or your circles might be organically slowing to stillness as you focus on breath. Well, make sure you're comfortable enough that you can stay with breath and feel your body. If you're in the bigger circles, here the spine might not be so straight. You can press the rib cage out in its full circles to the sides, back and front, grinding over the pelvis. Grinding is the name of the pose, but there should be no sensation of grinding in the spine. Keep using breath to lubricate the joints, to create space between bones and tissues. And I'll get quiet for the rest of the meditation so you can feel maybe your body wants to go into a more free-form stretch and breathe, dance. Though notice if you tend to get carried away by the dance, come back to the breath. And in the quiet, notice if you get carried away by the mind while the body's on autopilot. Come back to breathing and feeling. If you have been circling in one direction, go ahead, reverse your circles. We'll take 10 more breaths. In these last few breaths, finding your way to a still place, sitting up, lying down, your choice. And in stillness, continue to breathe consciously, fully, scanning the body if there's any echo of the movement. Any place of interest that your mind is drawn to, whether it's a tender or vulnerable area. Or on the other end of the spectrum, it might be like a luscious, breath-filled area that feels really yummy to breathe into. Of course, you can center your breath there. If you have both, take huge breaths into the yummy area. And send a slow, compassionate exhale to your vulnerable area. And rub your hands together if you're in a position to do so. And your hands are warm and tingly if your vulnerable area or your yummy area is somewhere you can reach with your warm, tingly hands. Maybe rest your hands there. Otherwise, bring hands, palms press at your heart, Anjali Mudra. 3 rounds Brahmari, or you're welcome to sing out in the full Aum and linger on the at the end as the vibration of your voice connects to the physical vibration in your body. Let's begin together. Big breath in and buzz. Continue, take 2 more buzzes on your rhythm. Let's come to all fours for micro twisting quadruped. Those of you who don't like to be in tabletop, you'll do spinal twist repetitions. Hands on your heart, one atop the other. Tall spine, chin down. And inhale to turn to one side. Fan out the back ribs so the spine stays tall, especially in the low back. Exhale, use your low abdominals to come back to center. Turning side to side like that. Those of you comfortable being on all fours, tabletop, hands a little wider than your shoulders. Give your shoulders lots of room to breathe. Neutralize pelvis and tailbone, sitting bones, pubic bones straight back. Little dip in the top rim of the sacrum. So your lumbar spine is a natural curve. Your tail is untucked. Some of you might need to tuck and squeeze to protect your low back. That's fine. We're not moving the low back at all. So find a steady, stable position. Breathe into the back of the rib cage, especially the back bottom ribs, and turn your chest to the right. Right hand floats off the earth. Relax low belly. Exhale, pull low belly in. Float the left knee off the earth using your low abdominals. Hand down, knee down. Inhale into back ribs as you turn left. Left hand floats. The arm is straight. The hand has come straight up. Exhale, engage your low abdominals to float the right knee. Straight up, not back, not to the side. Real subtle movement. Center. If adding the legs hurts your back at all, just do the arms. Inhale, turn right, right hand floats. Relax low belly. Exhale, hug low belly in, left knee floats. Like you're trying to retract your thigh right into your low belly. Center. Inhale, turn left, left hand up. Exhale, engage the low abdominals, right knee floats. Do 3 more rounds like that to each side, or if you're done sooner, come to a child's pose or a resting pose of your choice. Neck relax. If some of you need a little extra neck relief, go ahead, hang your head or relax your head down. The hands, knees might barely leave the earth. We're articulating some really subtle, small muscles. So not so much the buttocks, and certainly not the teeth and jaw. And you may notice one side feels a lot more wobbly than the other. Well, if you have a wobbly side, do that side one extra time. Dolphin prelude. Return to hands and knees and come down onto your elbows. Those of you who are not comfortable be on your knees, do a few rounds of shoulder shrugs. If you know the choreographed shoulder shrugs with the 3 parts of the rhomboids, you can move through that. Otherwise, whatever feels like it gets breath into the upper back. Dolphin preludes on your elbows. Clasp your hands in front of you. Elbows are right under your shoulders. You might need to walk the knees back or out to the sides a bit so you can rest your head on the earth. And then up to you whether you want to leave hands on the earth or lift them off the earth. Lifting the hands will create some lines of tension across the upper back. I want you to send breath into those areas of tension between the shoulders, at the base of the neck, and start to soften with breath, with gravity. There's unpleasant compression at the neck. For some necks, that compression can feel nice. But for a lot of us, actively reaching the tailbone back, like a down dog, to take pressure off the neck will be helpful. Padding, setting your elbows up on blankets, bolster can also be helpful if there's too much pressure. All right, take 3 more breaths in whatever position you're in. Dolphin preludes. Keep your neck relaxed. Maybe gaze towards navel as you shift your weight forward to come off your head, and either crawl out onto your belly or just simply roll onto your back. We'll meet on our backs, but some of you will rest out in his belly down shavasana for a moment, head on hands. Let's do pelvic tilts into cat-cow on the back. Feet are on the floor, about hips width apart, maybe wider, knees bent. Totally fine to have something underneath your head and neck. Arms either alongside body, or you can put your hands on your hips so you can actually feel the tilt. Breathing down into the low belly rises, and top edge of sacrum, top edge of pelvis lifts off the earth, caving the low back up. Exhale, belly sinks down towards the low back, and low back sacrum presses into earth. Inhale into low belly, top rim sacrum rises. Exhale, draw low belly in, top rim sacrum into earth. Continue to flush your breath through the lowest of the abdominals into the joints around the hips. Feeling your sacrum rocking up and down from top edge towards tail. But the movement might be so tiny and subtle that I wouldn't see it, and that's fine. Your head and neck might be also moving in rhythm with your sacrum, and that's fine. That's a natural response if it doesn't feel like it's tensing up the neck and jaw. If you do feel tension, drop the chin down, maybe use a towel or pillow under head. A small pillow, not a lot of lift. Option to add the arms. Next time you inhale and the pelvis tilts forward, the arms reach up overhead. Whole front body opens. Exhale, top rim sacrum down, arms down. Maybe a little tilt of the tail up. Inhale, open front body to breath, arms up. Exhale, hands down, low spine down, maybe tail tilt curls up. Feel for using your feet rather than your clenching your buttocks to get the tail up. Go back and forth as you please. 6 more breaths. And when you complete your last breath, either take a little shavasana or hug your knees into chest and rock out. Let's move into Apanasana. Feet on the floor, right knee to chest. If you can reach the right leg, you can hold on either shin or behind the knee, hamstrings. You can wrap a towel around your thigh bone or leg bone so you're not straining with your arms to reach it. Knee towards your right nipple, so right off of center, not too far out to the side. Untuck your tailbone towards the earth. Get the bottom of the sacrum down. Ease the shoulders back. Run breath into your right hip. Exhale, soften right hip. If it's right for you, straighten the left leg out. Flex the foot, all 5 toes pointing to the sky, especially pinky toe. See if you can work your hamstrings down to the floor. As you try to press the back of the left leg down, the right knee will move away from you. That's fine. Your pelvis is returning to a natural standing tilt. Send breath into pelvis. Exhale, soften right hip. Breathe back ribs down onto the floor. Exhale, softly hug low belly in without tensing it. Right hand opens right knee to the right, left hand on left hip or thigh. Just going as far as you can without tipping over to the right. When you think you're there, use your right hand to pick your right knee up 1/2 inch and then press your left hip back down. Few breaths here. You can be actively opening right inner thigh without tipping, or you might be bracing it like a kickstand. You can experiment with extending right leg out. Feel for toes turning down to the floor if you're doing that external rotation. Exhale, carry your right knee back to center. Half happy baby. Turn the right foot up. Hug right knee towards your right shoulder and then turn right foot up to sky. So you can keep the back of the left leg on the floor, the toes flex straight up to sky. You may or may not reach your foot. It's not important right now. Hook your elbow around your knee if that's comfortable. Hug right knee to chest. Spinal twist. Roll onto left side, carrying right knee across. I like to have the foot resting on something that allows the inner leg to let go. So that can be your own thigh, or you might rest your right leg on a bolster, block, couch, or wall. Gaze wherever the neck is comfortable. Option to tuck chin down into right collarbones. And bring the right arm across, lying on your left side, and then ease back onto your back. Set your feet on the floor. Draw left knee up to chest. Right towards the left side of chest. Hold on wherever you can, or if holding on, reaching at all doesn't work for you. So you can keep the left knee slightly centered, but also relax around the hip. Run breath into your pelvis, and especially the meat of the left hip. Untucking tail, top rim of sacrum is soft on the earth. Bottom tip of sacrum around the tail, heavier. Ultimately balanced, but tendency is to curl. Straighten the right leg out, flex the 5 toes up. Working right hamstrings down to the earth, untucking tail. Continue to send softness into the top of the left thigh, into the hip, and into your low belly. Open left knee to the left. Either prop your thigh into your kickstand or you can manually open it. But first, lift it up just a bit so you can pin your right hip back down. The leg's heavy, it will tip you. Maybe use the waist muscles to keep drawing the right side body back to the ground. Two more breaths here if you want to play with extensions. If your head is not propped, notice if your chin is lifting up, soften it back in. Half happy baby, draw your left knee back to center. And then flex it towards your left shoulder, turn the foot up to the ceiling. Now feel for the right leg, standing leg still balanced, flat on earth. That might limit the shape of your half-happy baby. Well, that's fine. Let go of the external image and then feel where the lines of tension are. Send breath there. Especially the unnecessary tension. See if you can turn the hip gooey. Spinal twist. Fold the left knee in. Roll onto your right side. Option to open left arm to the left. Going real slow, so you have time to find any props you might want here. And bring the left arm across. Roll onto your back. Come into a full happy baby or a wide knee child's pose with both knees hugged up towards your shoulders. You don't have to lift the feet up if that feels more right for your back traction today. Fill the pelvic bowl with your breath. Exhale, feel for softness around inner thighs, tops of thighs. Either stay here or Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the feet together over your face. For some of your knees, you'll have to keep your feet pretty close to pelvis. Some of you, it'll feel safe to activate the feet, then lift them up to the ceiling and draw them closer to your nose. That will untuck the, or it will tuck your tail, curl your pelvis up. Energetically press your tail back to the earth. And hug both knees to chest or take a little Shavasana. Some of you will stay on your back and do hip circles, leg circles on your back. Some of you will join me on all fours. So you can be on your hands, or you can be down on your elbows for this. If you're on your elbows, you'll have to engage the abdominals to pull the ribs in, give your hip leg more space to circle. Alternatively, if you want to give your leg more space and you have blocks or something you can put your hands on, make your arms longer, and that should give you a little more freedom of movement. All right. So choose at least your starting position. Of course, you have permission to change your mind. Relax your neck. This time, let's tuck the tail a little bit, pull the belly in, and keep that steady. Inhale the left leg straight back, heel to sky, knee bent. Open it out to a fire hydrant shape, and then set it down. 2 more circles in that direction. Send it back to the side and down. Right leg. Rebalance your pelvis. Right heel up. Open to the side. Your hip might tilt. That's okay. But then come back to center. Take 2 more circles. Make sure you find center between the circles. This time, left knee straight back. Bring it out to the side in your fire hydrant shape and pause for a moment. Leg can stay bent, or if you can get your thigh parallel to earth, maybe you extend your leg out to the side, a little bit of a karate kick. Bend the left knee, bring it back behind you. Relax your neck. Press heel up to the sky. Tuck tail against that. Pull your belly in. pigeon variation. Left knee to elbow. You can either slide right leg back if your knee's ready for that, or roll onto left hip for a hip stretch. If you're on your back, figure 4. Transition back to all 4s. Let's cook the right cheek a little bit. Inhale, right knee up, heel up, and then open it out to the side. Trying to get right knee in line with hip, parallel to earth if possible. Sides of waist up, neck and jaw relaxed. Option to extend. Oh, very handy if you have a couch there. And bend the right knee, bring it back behind you. Press heel to sky, and then pull your belly in, tuck your tail against that. Hip stretch variations, either bring right knee between your arms for a pigeon or deer variation, or roll onto your back, figure 4, get breath into right hip. And we'll slowly find our way up to standing. So I'll give you a few breaths to feel through that. If you want to cat-cow, down dog, or take a little shavasana, take your time. Let's do some walking hips. Let's do shoulders first. Sun breath. Standing Tadasana, hands at heart center. Inhale the arms up or out. Exhale to your heart. 3 breaths like that. And either stay in Tadasana or come into a horse stance. Separate your feet 3 feet apart, angle the toes out 45 degrees, bend your knees. Everyone, goalpost your arms. Breathe into the back ribs. The goalpost will sometimes jut these front ribs out. Invite them back in while hugging your shoulder blades in. Exhale, drop the tail straight down without tucking it. Inhale, open your arms straight up or out on diagonals. Exhale, hug the shoulder blades back in towards your tail without popping front ribs out. 3 pulses like that. Inhale, open. Exhale, massage the shoulder blades in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Once again, in and out. Relax your arms. Straighten your legs if you're on your horse. Turn your toes in. And come back to Tadasana. Feet hips width apart, outside edges of feet parallel to your yoga mat for this part. If that knocks your knees in, For some of us, getting the outside edges of feet parallel feels like a pigeon toe and the knees knock in. Then gently brush your thighs, roll to the outsides of your feet so the inner thighs roll away from each other, external rotation. Keep that rotation as you plant your foot back down. See if you can maintain that with minimal tension. Step your right foot forward one stride. Feet still parallel, hands on hips, hips right between your 2 feet, even, right hip, left hip, same height. And shift your weight onto the right leg. Inhale, the right hip rises. Shift your weight onto left leg. Exhale, left hip rises. Go back and forth like that a few times, feeling the hips kind of shimmy side to side. Not out to the side so much, just that tip up and down. Noticing if there's a tendency to want to twist and minimizing the twist or eliminating it. Just get that side to side, almost like there's a smile here. And also the pelvis is not tilting. Pubic bone, tailbone dropping straight down, not curling under, not tucking back. And change the legs. Step your left foot forward. And continue your walking hips, just feeling for that massage side to side, lubricating in the hip joint. Breathe the low back ribs out. If you're starting to dip into your low back, then drop your chest a little bit. And come back to Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, Ardha Chandrasana, standing half moon. Either catch your left wrist, actually do catch your left wrist, and if this is okay on shoulder, turn your thumb forward so your palm is turning out, and then draw the wrist over to the right, relax your head onto right shoulder. Breathe into the upper spine, right up into the shoulder blade area. Here again, you might drop the chest a little bit as you get breath into the back body. Then invite the arm bone back over your head. Inhale, center, push your feet down. Catch your other wrist. If it's an okay rotation, turn your thumb forward so your palm is turned out, and then reach to the left. And wherever you're feeling the traction, run breath. Press your feet down. Inhale, center. Release the arms. Utkatasana, sit back in your chair, arms forward or up. Shift your weight back into your heels so your tail's behind you. Your knees are right over your ankles. And lift and spread your toes. Press the balls of the feet down. Low chair. Sit back a little more. Bring chest towards thighs. Keep reaching your tail back. Breathe your chest forward. Breathe the back ribs up too. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands might press against your shins or thighs as you lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, Samastitihi. Standing Ardha Chandrasana, round 2. And again, if I suggest any of these shoulder shapes that don't work for your shoulders, do what does not create pain for you. Left arm up, catch the left wrist. This time, turning the thumb behind you to wrap the shoulder, maybe even the palm starts to turn behind you, the point of the elbow forward. When I say wrap the shoulder, that's that action of bringing the shoulder blade around the side of the body. Very stabilizing shape. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lean to your right, head to right shoulder. This you might feel a little closer to the hip, the lower spine. You can press your left hip out to the side if that's right for you. Your choice whether you tuck or untuck the tail and see how that feels. And press your feet down. Inhale, center. Catch your right wrist, wrapping the shoulder, turning the palm behind you, the pointing the elbow forward. And exhale, lean to your left, relax your head. Maybe pressing hips over to the right. Or if you feel for driving the feet down, the sitting bones straight down, that'll get you connected to hip. Press your feet down to come up. Inhale. Exhale, relax your arms. Twisting chair variation. Inhale, sit back in your chair, arms forward, weight way back. Little twist. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, left arm back. Option to do that one more time to each side. If you're ready to release, you can either forward fold or come up to standing. When you are complete, inhale, arms forward or up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Forward folds, come up onto your fingertips or maybe put your hands on blocks. And keeping your heels on the earth, slowly start to pedal your knees. So your hips kind of go swoosh, swoosh. If you're not comfortable forward folding even with your head not down, then go back to your walking hips. If your hamstrings are healthy, you might rock the weight a little more towards your toes. And if this feels all right, everything feels safe, it's starting to lubricate, you can go as fast as you like. My yoga teachers used to say, like you're trying to polish the window behind you. Swish, 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 swish. All right, release back into your forward fold. Find your way up to standing. Exhale to your heart. Step your feet 4 feet apart. Bring right arm across the chest. Left hand comes underneath to take the right arm and hug it into your chest. If you have a shoulder injury where this does not work for you, especially this compression here, do another arm position. Maybe half archer feels right for you today. Maybe a half bind. Those of you who are compressing, you can roll the right shoulder away from your head neck and even lean your head over to the left if that feels like a sweet stretch. Getting into the back of the shoulder, the neck, the deltoids. Turn the right toes out to warrior two and bend your right knee. We'll add a little pulse here. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, bend the right knee. Pulse like that, 3 more breaths. If you prefer not to pulse, of course, you can choose to hold your warrior two or stand or weave your arms into an eagle, warrior two. When you feel complete, straighten your right leg, turn your toes back in, relax your arms. Counter pose, if this is okay for you. Try to touch your thumbs together behind your back. Then roll the head of the shoulder back without popping the front ribs out. Breathe the back ribs out. If you can keep these ribs in and your shoulders back, then you start to straighten your arms. If your arms straighten, some of you might have that rotation, then you lift your hands behind you without popping the front ribs out or dipping the head of the shoulder down. You might be at your edge here. That's fine. Breathe into it. Get some softness, space into the shoulder joint itself. All right, relax your arms. Other side, left arm across. Hug it in. Option or mirror what you did for shoulders on side one. Ease the shoulder down, maybe relax head away from shoulder. Option warrior two, turn the left toes out, bend the left knee. And take 4 breaths, maybe pulsing. Inhale to straighten, exhale to bend. As you press down, make sure you're also pressing into right foot. Or of course, choose a stationary pose to run your breath through, maybe a warrior two eagle. And when you're satisfied, straighten arms, straighten leg, release arms, turn your feet in, hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows back, your shoulders back, super person your chest. Tuck your chin down and in, almost like I always have to think of trying to look down my own shirt to keep my chin from jutting forward as you look down your nose. Squeeze the shoulders back. Some of you know how to do this in a forward fold. You're welcome to move into Prasarita Padasvanasana B. Whether you're forward folded or standing, inhale, lift your chin. Option to interlace hands behind back or find your strap. Or return to any of the chest openers we just did. Hands on waist or thumbs behind back. And plenty of options here too. You can stay bound. You can bind and forward fold. Or you can forward fold, no bind. If you're not bound, still feel for moving shoulders away from ears while upside down. If you feel safe coming up in your bind, reach up through your knuckles. Maybe pretend to pull feet towards each other as you come up. If you want to release the hands, put them on your thighs and ease yourself up, do that. Returning to standing, back into our horse. Turn the toes out, bend the knees. Let's do back traction. Hands right in the hip crease, heel of hand into hip crease, pressing down into your thighs as a way to telescope the rib cage up off the pelvis, even the back ribs. You might press so much that your arms straighten and your shoulders rise into your ears, and that's fine. I've seen people do this pose with their arms straight, locked against their ribs. My arms won't do that, but well, I'll never say never. And then release the traction. Step your feet back together. Another round of twisting chair. Depending on the twist, you might do what we did before, or you might end up hooking your elbow to your left thigh. I'm twisting to my right. If you want to hook your elbow across your thigh, I would start with feet together. Come into your low chair. Weight way back. Chest hovering off the thigh so you can lengthen your spine, pull your belly in. And then your twist, either right arm back or hands in prayer, or the Forrest Yoga fist with the left hand to twist to your right. Left hand, left elbow to either thigh. And again, if you're crossing, maybe feet together will feel a little more stable. Release into a forward fold or ease your way back up to standing. Forward folds, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Return to low chair, sit back. Pull your belly off your thighs, lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side. And then either exhale, fold, or ease your way back up to standing. We'll be heading on down to the ground. So forward folds, You might choose to inhale, sit back into your chair and see if you can lower your seat towards the earth by pulling your belly in a lot. If the momentum starts to take over, catch yourself with your own hands. Let's come into square pose. Square pose with neck release. Either cross right shin in front of left or stack the right shin on the left. This is sometimes called double pigeon, and you'll feel why. If you have a yoga block or a pillow handy for neck release, so one of my cohorts did this on Instagram yesterday, and it felt nice. You can walk left hand out to the side, right foot's on top, walk left hand out. Put the block on your left shoulder or your pillow and rest your head on it. Then reach right arm to the right. You can relax the left arm completely. Right arm is like the antenna that feels for just the right stretch in right side and neck. So you're not going for maximum stretch here, but for the lengthening, the release of the right side and neck. You can remove the block or let it drop as you start to look down towards left hand. Bring your right hand over towards the left, so you're twisting and bowing over your left thigh. If the bowing part doesn't work, you can come onto an upright twist. Some of you bowing, you might come all the way down onto your elbows or put your elbows on your blocks. Run breath into right hip. Exhale, maybe feel for pulling the right hip back a little bit. And lift up enough you can walk your hands forward and bow over your two shins. Bowing could always simply mean releasing the head and neck. This, you might realize, is much like figure four on the back. So if you prefer to be on your back, go into figure four. Reach back through your tail to pull yourself up and change the cross of your legs. Left shin in front of right or on top of right. Walk your right fingertips out 18 inches. And if you're using your block or your prop, put it on right shoulder and rest your head on it. And then release the right palm, relax the right arm as much as possible. Left arm reaches to the left, palm down, hovering off the earth, and you can feel for just the right line of tension through neck and shoulder. Then remove the block and look down towards right hand. Bring your left hand across for your twisted forward fold. Or if you prefer to sit upright and twist, do that. And as you get breath into the left hip, you can feel what's effective for you, whether it's pinning the left sitting bone down actively, or sometimes letting the left hip come up, maybe drawing it back more gently feels right today. And lift up enough you can walk forward and bow over your two legs. I know some of you might be dealing with some shoulder, upper back tightness. Well, I guess we all are. We're all doing the computer screen things these days. Some of us have been shoveling. If you want to prop your elbows up on blocks or something so that your chest can sink between your shoulder blades move back. This is a way I've been doing a lot of my forward folds lately. Of course, you can use additional propping for head. Reach back through tail, hug low abdominals in, and ease onto your back to rest. Shavasana. Of course, you're in your own home, so if you want to use this time where you're warm, you're connected to breath, to continue to play, you won't be disturbing anyone. Just make sure you take some time to let go at some point today, whether it's a meditation or a shavasana. Allow your practice to integrate into your being. You might choose to continue to let your body continue to relax. Just feel the parts of you touching earth. And stay with those sensations, feeling them from your body, my voice in the background. If you're ready to come up, start by deepening your breath. Move your fingers, your toes. If the stretch sounds yummy, you can reach the arms up overhead and take a big stretch, maybe a yawn. Release the jaw. And ease off to one side to crawl up to sitting. Or kick your legs, rock up if that's easier on your body. Palms together, thumbs against the sternum, lift your heart. May our practice benefit not only us, but all beings everywhere. Namaste.